education system isn't what it used to be decades ago. The US has gone down in ranks globally when compared to other countries across the globe. This is because although times have changed, the education system hasn't. This is relevant to every student who has ever been in public schools because they're missing out on the education they should be getting, and it directly affects them because they're not going to change it anytime soon because no one's putting importance on it. Sometimes it gets so bad that it affects the students' mental health because of all the pressures placed on them. I've been in the public school all my life, and there are like some disturbing patterns that haven't been changed, and no one is paying attention to how it's making the students feel. The average student goes through many challenges each and every day. Not only do they have to maintain grades, they have to get good scores. To get into a good college, they can still be rejected, and this places stress and pressure on them. First, I'll discuss some of the problems with the education system, then the causes of these problems, and finally some possible solutions. To begin, I'll discuss some of the major issues of the US education system. One of the main problems is that there's more emphasis on the student's grade rather than if they're actually learning the material. They have to maintain good grades to actually get somewhere in life. So instead of the student actually trying to learn, they try finding other ways around it, like cheating, or some of them who actually try to learn, they overwork themselves, and it causes them to sleep less or do other things instead of learning. Well, according to a 2004 magazine article by an anonymous author, this method that we have right now causes students to be brainless in a way, because instead of actually teaching the material in classrooms, it's turning everyone in brainless, and the classrooms are now like mini assembly lines and conditions the students to be easily manipulated. Since that's one of the main problems, instead of wealthy people trying to solve it, they give up on the education system completely and either send their kids to private schools, or a new trend that's popping up now is that instead they're sending them to other countries where they know they can get more for what they're paying for. According to a study in 2004 by economists at Fewswire, education abroad provides better benefits that the US doesn't have yet, and this is true because the classrooms are smaller. The teachers actually pay more attention to their students because they'll have more one-on-one conversations, and in the US, the education system isn't like that because classrooms have a lot more students and teachers aren't able to make the same connections, so students don't care as much. The causes of this are the recession that's been going on over the years now, and it continues to diminish the quality of education the students are receiving. Besides the funding they do have, governors would rather place it in other places, including private schools instead. According to an article written in the District Administration in 2006 by an anonymous author, Governor Jeb Bush was trying to get this voucher passed that would give Florida the money from the state of Florida to the private schools instead of the public schools, and the public schools would be funded by the federal government instead, which is in contradiction to the Constitution. Another cause is that politicians exaggerate what they're doing, and instead of actually fixing it, they just collect more money and place it in other places. And many adults or parents actually believe what the politicians are saying, so they just leave it and let the politicians try to solve it. According to the Washington Post website, in an article published in 2013, there's still a huge gap between public and private schools, even with Obama's new policies. Lastly, I'll discuss some of the possible solutions to try and fix this issue. The simplest solution would be to place money where it should actually be going. According to an article published by Alan Oden in Educational Leadership, even with the limited funds, if money was being conserved, well, we could reduce classroom sizes and offer more courses, and the U.S. could potentially save if they pay teachers on improvement instead of paying them for how many years they've been there. Because that way teachers would be motivated to teach and not want to lose their jobs. Instead of solution we could also do ourselves is instead of procrastinating, we could actually study or just give more time for the classroom. Another thing you can do is call your local representative and ask them to place a higher importance on education instead of other things. There are many possible solutions on how to solve this issue, but to wrap things up, although there are many challenges students go through, we somehow manage to balance our grades, test scores, and other things we do. First, I discussed some of the problems regarding the education system. Next, I outlined some of the causes for it. And finally, I gave some solutions on how to solve the problem. Lastly, I wanted to leave you guys with a quote by Albert Einstein. Education is not learning of the facts, but the training of mind. That's